What's up, YouTube? This is JP Panther right here, back with another video. And today's video is about Jennifer Lopez. She has an upcoming movie right now, and interviewers were asking her some questions and things like this. This is geek culture, comic book related. Is that they asked her about how do you feel about like the Marvel movies and or like just the big blockbusters and things like that. And she says that this is on comicbook.com. This is the article I found. She says it's tough to make movies that aren't about Marvel comic book movies. And this is what she exactly said. So I have the article right here. First of all, it's hard to make a movie, period. Jennifer Lopez says about her leap into filmmaking. It has to be a Marvel comic book or some crazy franchise billion-dollar thing. But the smaller movies about humanity and people and everyday struggles, you don't get that as much unless you do that for nothing, and there's no budget for that. And this is something I want to talk about. It's Marvel related, comic book related, and it's a good topic to talk about in general. In my personal opinion, I understand where she's coming from, and the thing is that I see from her point of view is that the Marvel movies. Really, the blockbuster, really the Marvel movies, they overshadow a lot of the smaller, like, independent, like, how to explain, the independent, regular, the movies that aren't worth, they don't spend, like, over $200 million budget. They hurt a lot of the smaller, independent movies. And the problem is that the reason why it does, because, if you're just being realistic, is that the general public, a lot of them are into blockbusters. They're not going to spend, if you're just talking about like a regular family of four, movie theaters are expensive. So let's say they have a chance to see Avengers or see the Hustler movie. They're obviously going to see, and movie theaters are expensive. It's like $20 for a ticket, especially in these big cities in like New York and things like that. So let's say you have a family of four and, Avengers is like, Endgame is like $80. That's for family. And you rather spend that money on a blockbuster, or would rather spend that money on a movie like Hustler? And also the thing is as well, you got to think of snacks and things like that. And, that's almost like $100. That's almost like your whole entire paycheck. So she got to also look at it from that point of view, is that, the everyday regular person or the general public, they're not going to spend their money on the smaller movies because the smaller movies doesn't attract them. And if you're doing it by budget, the Marvel movies is what overshadows everything. And I get where she's coming from. I saw the movie Hustler. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was a 7 out of 10. I think it has its problems, but overall I thought it was an enjoyable movie. And you guys can go check the movie out if you want to. But overall, the movie was enjoyable. But the problem is that movie isn't a billion-dollar movie. That's not a billion-dollar franchise. And the problem is that, a movie like that is, it's going to make money. But again, it's not going to do the big, crazy Avengers, Endgame, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, Spider-Man numbers. If it doesn't hit $1 billion, and also another thing, there's also a lot of stuff I want to talk about as well, is that the general public or the everyday regular people, the problem is now we're used to billion-dollar movies, is that if a movie doesn't hit $1 billion, people already think it's a failure. And that's also another problem we're going with as well, so a lot of these movies that aren't like a Marvel or a comic book movie, really a Marvel movie, let's just be honest, if it doesn't hit $1 billion, it's going to be automatically looked as a failure. Which is not true, but again, that's how the everyday regular people view it. And the problem is a lot of these smaller movies that don't have a strong brand aren't going to get the big headlines, and it's not going to get the same attention and publicity. So honestly, I don't bust Jennifer Lopez or what she says. I understand where she comes from. I actually feel kind of sympathetic because, you have people who are actually filmmakers, and really trying to really make a good movie and things like that. But the problem is all the studios, they don't care about all that Oscar awards, independent stuff. They're like, what makes the most money and how can we put our political agenda and our identity politics into this brand while converting and averting the general public to our political views and our ideology while we still make millions and billions on the side. So again, it's all about converting it's all about promoting your political agenda and about the bottom dollar. That's all that matters for Hollywood. That's what it is. And if you tell, they're out of ideas. It's like, they just ripped most of the movies. They just ripped from other movies. And also it does show you that, Marvel is such a powerful brand that, Kevin Feige and Disney and all of them, they actually know what they're doing. They know their audience. They know how to tap into the general public. Not busting on Jennifer Lopez, but, she did music and things like that. And if you're not into pop culture, like, the problem is, I think J-Lo's, finding out as well, is that just because, you do well in the music industry, let's say you do, I don't know, let's say you you sell like 10 million records, I guess albums or streams, whatever they're going to do now. And you go into film, the same people that listen to your music aren't automatically going to see your movie. So I think she's finding that out real quick, even though she's a talented artist and, she was a great actress. She's pretty good at in the Hustler movie. But the problem is I think she's realizing that just because you do music doesn't mean everyone's going to support you on every single thing you do. And I think she's waking up. She's finding a big wake-up call. I think she's finding out real quick. And that's really it. It's like, I feel for her. I understand. I do feel bad for independent filmmakers and things like that. But again, it's Marvel and Disney. They know what they're doing. And the problem is and another argument a lot of the comic book Marvel fans will make is that you got to realize back in the day, like when Iron Man came out in 2008, you used to get roasted, get you beat up, used to be really socialized and like geek culture and nerd culture, like it just wasn't how it is in 2019. It just wasn't. So now that, Iron Man comes out in 2008 and 11 years later, Marvel is the biggest brand on the planet because they know how to get the general public, they know how to get the young generation, the new generation, women, little girls, women, black, white, Latino, Asian. They know how to get everybody. And the problem is if you don't know how to get everybody, that's how you're not going to be able to have a strong, powerful brand. And the problem is that when Disney and Marvel make all the money, they're viewed as the villains. They're viewed as the bad guys. But the problem is this always happens. Anytime you're on top, everybody sees you as the enemy. It's like, with sports as well. It's like, the Warriors, the Patriots, things like that. So anytime you're at the top, which Marvel and Disney are, they're going to be viewed as the enemies. And that's something I think J-Lo has to realize, and I think she's realizing that. And I think that's something a lot of people in the general public has to realize, the media, things like that. You guys give them all these attention. You guys cover them like 24/7. So it's like, because you want to get the clicks, the headlines, the advertising revenue, and things like that. So you guys are covering Marvel, and you're actually making them bigger with all these other articles. The problem is you guys know a lot of these also you got to take this consideration. A lot of journalists, a lot of the big newspaper websites, they know that like a brand like Marvel and Star Wars is gonna get clicks. A movie like Hustler, even if it wins an Oscar, it won't bring in the same type of attention like Marvel and Star Wars were, because first of all, Marvel is a comic book brand that's been established for 11 years, and Star Wars has been a movie franchise brand that's been around for 40 years. So it's also the timing and also how strong the brand is well. So I think Jennifer Lopez, and not just her, but just people in general, has to realize is that these Marvel movies, as long as they make money, they're gonna keep doing it. And the problem is that the problem is that they overshadow all the movies, and it's really it does suck, So you're not gonna get more of those creative type of movies, like movies like A Quiet Place and things like that. You're not gonna get a lot of those because it's all about the dollar. It's all about money. They're not there to create art and appeal to certain people. No, they're like, what makes us money? That's all that matters. And I think J-Lo's realizing that too, and I think a lot of other people are realizing it. And it just sucks. So guys, let me know what you guys think. I know this is a long video, but I had to discuss it. What do you guys think about it? Do you agree with her? Do you disagree with her? Let me know in the comments section below. Rate, like the video, subscribe. Peace, and have a great day.